You are listening to Dichotomy. Collected Poems, by Alfred Vassallo. In religion, ethics, and philosophy, good and evil is a common dichotomy. Evil is usually perceived as the dualistic antagonistic opposite of good, in which good should prevail, evil should be defeated. While good is a broad concept, it typically deals with an association with life, charity, continuity, happiness, love, and justice. Evil, on the other hand, is typically associated with conscious and deliberate wrongdoing, discrimination designed to harm others, humiliation of people, designed to diminish their psychological needs and dignity, destructiveness, and acts of unnecessary and/or indiscriminate violence. This collection of poems engages in a subtle by strong opinions and beliefs about unquestionable the most unanswered question. Evil exists, and is good always right? Why?
I am a nonsensical man. The deed done. It was no fun. It wasn't dark and it wasn't light. It was shite. As dreams fly high, I'll turn a blind eye. When the problem is solved, I'll be absolved. If my esteem falls, I'll grasp my balls till tears pop out. I will yell and shout. I will sing hallelujah with my friend Tellula. She'll be furious. Nothing injurious. I'll give her my heart. If she spreads her legs apart, not for any reason, only to greet a dry season. It is time to be goodbye before I die. From my death to hell, to life I bid farewell. This is utter nonsense. Nothing meant in offense. Just I am not fine with 3 bottles of wine. Hip, hip, hooray. One more thing to say. Good day, good night and God bless. I am drunk more or less.
Perfect day. In bed safely tucked in, dreams await my energetic mind. In boundless sleep I shall stay, for night is blessed and kind. In dreams nothing from life is taken, it renews the memories from past days, at times confusing, at times makes sense, sometimes I cry, other times I praise. Early in the morning a perfect day, happiness, care and love expected, the grace of living is within me, knowing my family is well protected.
A poem. A composed poem, with flowing lines, not a masterpiece, as the heart defines. Few words written incised from the heart, felt through the emotions, with a message impart. Stanza after stanza, the mind is towns, words and more words, some searched and found. The story thickens, nothing what it seems, an abstract subject, plotted with extremes. In contravention, readers appalled, unfavorable comments, unsuited applaud. A written poem, compassionately strong, defined from the poet's blood, the words never wrong.
According to love. In the days of trouble, in the name of love, I shall defend my honor, I shall strengthen my self-esteem, I do not need assistance, I remember well and never to forget, from the conclave of my heart, I shall speak out truth. I remember to those promises I made, and kept, yet many tried to make a lamb to the sacrifice, I stood tall, I did not fall into the pit of guilt. I will live a life that is filled with love, love shall abide according to my sincere emotions, which are plenty. According to my heart, I am fulfilled with love, I shall rejoice, I shall even cry, for without tears love becomes expendable. I trust in love, other believe in hate, yet I remember well how destructive hate is. While love conquers all, hate brings down the humility of man. While love rises from the deepest pit, shines throughout, without discrimination, all is welcome, all but one, and that one is evil.
Cherished illusions. I blanked out in foreboding, thinking incorrectly, that it was the only way, so inappropriately. I heard loudly, my thoughts screaming, I saw clearly, the visions laughing. I woke up unduly, washing my senses clean, hoping what I have experienced was not what I have foreseen. Some minutes passed by, the hallucinations returned, more horrible and expressive, which left me fearful and concerned. I stood still once more, eager to be on the safe side. Nothing is what it seems, all blurred and unidentified. Upholding strongly my intimate hallucinations keeps me alive and alert, far away from speculations. All these visions are closely related to the woman I have truly adored, woman dead and yet within me living, in my heart forever unexplored. Cyclamen. A flower that stems, twists, it coils into a spiral after flowering, a very sensitive wild flower, for both under and over watering. In a winter garden where frosts appear, a cyclamen flourishing on its own, with its delightfully quaintly scented flowers, a resilient 5-petal flower when grown. A cyclamen I planted as the wet skies harden, it takes out the word boring in a winter garden. For true love never ends. Stay and love me till the end, smile at me and let me see, my love is higher than the sky above, deeper than the ocean sea. My feelings for you won't disappear, they keep banging each other, vertically and diagonally, myriads of colors smother. I'm broken flower stem, I'm placed in a cracked vase, a white rose tender and nice, obviously seems out of place. Translucent effervesces, as lights as feathers, yellow, blue, red and green, confused in artless heathers. I stare without noticing, I gaze without looking, gawking not understanding, life, mine, so apprehending. Translucent effervesces, keep on bumping without rest, mirror my life, if you can, because truly I'm possessed. One drink to many as I go along, one fuck to many as I strode forward. A baby here and a baby there, I know, of course, I've been altered. Bubbles continue without stopping, bump into each other struggling. Do not think, do not respite, the end of mine continues fighting. Go away now bouncing bubbles, you have and are full of troubles, I say to you loud and clear, fuck off, let me persevere.
Goodbye my life, goodbye. Waking up to an altered day. I raised my voice in a chant of remembrance. In a song of regret. I bids farewell to a vanished life of chance. Goodbye my life, goodbye. Au revoir, goodbye, and auf Wiedersehen. Do no remember my time. My finger on the firing pin. I fought against the change. The connection I made between life and death. Congested throughout divine intervention. An intrusion. Greeted without enthusiasm. Just with a dreaded life. Goodbye my life, goodbye. Saha, goodbye, and auf Wiedersehen. Do no remember my time. My finger on the firing pin. The alteration underwent severe destructions. Resulting from the obstacles within itself. Most of new body destroyed. Countless blood removed. I am boneless. Am I waking up to a different day? To a life without repair. Goodbye my life, goodbye. Saha, goodbye, and auf Wiedersehen. Do no remember my time. My finger on the firing pin. Note, au revoir is goodbye in French language. Auf Wiedersehen is goodbye in German language.
To be rich. If I were rich I'd be modest, I would be content with simple things. To do this I need to imitate the kings, the celebrities, the stars. I will imitate them thoroughly. First I buy Rolls-Royce, a bright metallic red motorbike, a horse which I call Martini, making sure he's a thoroughbred. If I were rich I'd be modest, I get a small aeroplane to take me anywhere I want, this will be painted red and white, to many countries I shall alight, I buy a medieval castle, just for fun, I shall build a swimming pool to enjoy the blessed sun, with central heating below it to keep me cool, also I will purchase the largest diamond, just to these the greedy ladies, I shall send my wife packing, I would be free, single. If I were a rich man, I shall live in Timbuktu, for the weather there is mostly nice, hoping I stay healthy never to catch the flu, with a handful of servants, and a pet monkey to pot, I will have many girls in their bikinis, at night we go places with my Rolls Royce, every morning I have English breakfast with panini. I shall have all this I think, only if I possess a genie.
Life goes on and on. When light of day dies away, love within will stay. Grace and love, coming from above, fits like a glove. Love is like a bird, it flies, with its lows and highs, mostly with cries. Darkness at night, but for a lone red light, all sorrows ignite. With love inclined, passions driven blind, the heart resigned. Memories of the past, approaching me fast, they will outlast. Emotions on high, lifting to the sky, no rules apply. Once infirmities reign, the heart shall abstain, with illness strain. When life passes away, forgetting all the dismay, another birth on its way.
Midnight strike. The clock struck midnight. My life is fallen through. 12 chimes sounded. My time shall construe. I ran and hid behind the grandfather clock. The wife was chasing me, she gave me a shock. The clock struck 12. Life of mine was never free. A dozen bells sounding. I have no time to flee. The wife stopped and stared at the clock. She was angry, had no time for small talk. Midnight sang well and truly. Behind the clock I contrived. Determined to find me was the wife. I was with another female when she arrived. This time I was in a fix. I forgot my bag of tricks. All I could do was to double talk. With long words that confuses. Hoping I'll get away with it. I have no other excuses. I did not know how I will escape. Without revolving with red tape. I wish it was 7. My life surely not heaven. It's better if the clock strikes 8. I will have time to collate. If she hears Big Ben. My life is amen. The clock keeps ticking and so is she. She knows I am behind the clock. I'm thinking to be wise and pull through. But I'm without breath, I can choke. Puff after puff I will survive. Yet I'm not sure if I still be alive. I need to look for an exit. Make a run of it into my hole. Because my fears are getting worse. As I saw the cat by the milk bowl. What I did is not crime. Yet I'm living in a perilous time. I heard the wife screaming. She ran outside the house. I am worried the cat smells me. In that case I am a dead mouse.
Not a comforting thought. Tears shall flow from afflicted eyes, in disguise, struggling to escape from the fret of the demanding life, filled with strife, through grievous omissions of earthly shame, we're all the same. In disguise, the kindled flame of love shall demise, filled with strife, while endless mercies seal the wicked ways of life, we're all the same, frolicking with faith and love without aim. Confirming hatred from the heart's desire, we shall not aspire, like Christ bearing the cross shall perish, yet enmity won't vanish, children and grandchildren continues, with headline news. We shall not aspire, under dark clouds we shall slowly perspire, yet enmity won't vanish. Rain and crops decline, bodies famish, with headline news, each and every one shall pay the dues.
Once again. Am I sad? After all, I have a heart. Yet today I am not sad. I am a human being. Isn't it enough? I still think of myself as part of mankind. I start thinking once again like a human. Everything will become much easier. I know this is true. Yet I know much more. I have lived many years already. While all around me I felt disturbance, chaotic moments, and exaggerated panic. I am witnessing a reborn soul. Mine. Changing with every second I breathe. Love broke my heart. There is nothing better than be part of an extraordinary love. How do I feel now? I like to walk the path of yesterday. 100 times more. To learn again the decent ways. Without sadness. With hope. Without anger and loss.
Pardon him. I kneel down on the footstool, my arms I extend, I beseech and I implore you for compassion there, please think of my sinner dying friend. On his behalf receive my humble request, think not of the shame and the guilt, but only caress the appeal I have engrossed. I have abundant blemishes of gravest smears, spare my friend fro the power of your judgment, I plead to you to make the biggest sin disappears. You are the God who bursts everywhere, let the blood spilt from your blessed body, pardon my friend who is in utter despair.
Pride. Lucifer's downfall. For excessive conceit. Vanity killed his ego. Many are with pride. It destroys humility. Think. Pride comes before a fall.
Strange emotions. Possessed by an evil emotion, which leaves me distraught, hysterical with turbulence. Controlled by a malevolent empathy, succumbing my craving desire, left without disposition. I am able to reach the sunlight, with a minimum of fuss, unlike my desperate living, unable to sustain joy, defeated, diminished, to exhausted.
The pussy. The pussy is a month old. Its short days are foretold. Until the day is done. This pussy will have no fun. Not amused with a flea bite. It scratches away with might. Its eyes occupy lots of anger. Not being neutered is a clangor. For he's always looking for a female. To mate and mate, behind her tail. Its ears pricked and on the alert. The flea's attack could not avert. This pussy has no time to grouch. With fury, he pissed on the couch. Now he knows he's in big trouble. Because he burst his bubble. To his master this piss he cannot explain. He could not help it, couldn't sustain it. Will the master take him to the cattery? Spending its last days in misery. There once was an ugly creature. Indistinctness entered the body. The soul in readiness for defense. The only truth left was protected. There was frightfulness in offense. There was once an ugly creature. With an image of God it had men's feature. Darkness that also occupied the soul. It tumbled heavily and fell from grace. The evil rose from the depth of hell. The man stared at the devil face to face. There was once an ugly creature. Had his own doctrine, was a hateful preacher. No cries heard for this catastrophe. the eyes desolate with only one tear. The future will adapt an improvised way, downright assured and without fear. There was once an ugly creature, became part of a corrupt nature. Time goes by and life in deep trouble. There's no wisdom to smooth the way. Manipulation and discretion's never fixed, forcing the enemies to concede and stay. There was once an ugly creature, a fallen angel and pedophile teacher. Gladness outstayed, dilemmas not over. Nothing ever gained, nothing ever achieved. Loneliness in anonymity existing in discord. No one bothered in what I truly believed. There was once an ugly creature. It continue living as a human feature.
The truth and nothing but the truth. 60 years and more I have lived. For 46 I was pissed, nothing to be proud of, except I had plenty of love. 60 or more balloons soaring the sky, with alcohol always high, not that I have any regrets, but a life full of forgets. 60 years and more I had survived, at 58 I died, yes died, but death did not let me die. Instead I was left with a big lie. Some people wrote about me, showed respect and dignity, the truth of it all was planned, a dying plot with my own hand. Wine and pills I have swallowed that day, for I wanted to take my life away, taken to hospital death didn't work, I woke up dazed to scream and shout. Why would I want to kill myself, one may ask bar. With a family and love neatly stacked on the shelf bar? I was never and am a happy fellow, my life had been harsh and not mellow. I died only to realize I was still with the living, how could I explain my death misgiving bar? Better to put a bullet in my head, I am a coward so pills I chose instead. For years had to live with the error, through not my fault I became a terror, I had to continue the cowardly illusion, believe me I had no other solution. The deed was done and I couldn't escape it. I could have spoken the truth I must admit, few years later this is my writing, except with enemies around me not exciting. 62 candles on my cake, I've been truthful and not fake, some might think I'm not honest, I am sincere at its best bar. 62 years living I had, yet, 20 years wasted in bed, sometimes a comfortable sleep, other times with pains I weep.
Well-endowed matador. Further without vehemence she felt on her back, feeling it from his enthusiastic smooth hands. His expert fingers made quick work of her. She knew exactly where she stands. She continued to sip at his small and delicate tips, as her hands grasped his back intensely, feeling his callous fingers fondling her breasts. His extensive hardness pressed on her immensely. He held her well-seized tits in his hands, as if weighing them with his palms. His wayward fingertips pinched her nipples. She leaned backwards easily without qualms. Her wet lips fell away from his and cried out softly, sensing his hot moist mouth sucking them hard. By now her crying was in ecstasy and loud. Under his control she couldn't disregard the sensations this man was forcing her to. Felt like nothing she had experienced before. Her body was primed and ready for more. Prepared for his vigorous well-endowed matador.
Under a tree. Under a tree I found myself, sheltering from the deluge of rain. It was an old oak huge tree, its branches spreading unevenly wide. The cold breeze made me shiver, rubbing my hands together for some comfort. Flash of lightning, a clash of thunder, The oak tree hit and split apart, while I laid down, burnt, dead.
Where there is love, there is nothing better than be part of love, for love continues with God above. I shall rejoice, and will cry, tears of strength shall dry. While hate will spy, it will kill, and shall multiply. Love fights hate and justify, true love continues with God above. There is nothing better than be part of love. With life I live. Snowy clouds in numbers, mountain hills in winter, intimidating sight to see. I prefer the breezy summers. Climbing is surely not for me, instead I let others fools deliver, while I picnic lightnings and thunders. Withered muddy leaves on the ground, fallen from a shriveled sycamore tree, in an unblemished autumn season. From a distance I heard a sweet sound, a robin sadly crying like in me without reason, both lost in time never to again be free, accompanied by the calling of a hound. The undisputed wilderness in grave danger, unappreciated the natural surroundings, untouched by humans, not yet. Next time, I seek the wild for, to loneliness I'm no stranger, an easy hard life without committing a crime, escaping the awful sounds continuously pounding, enjoying the wild plants as silence I endeavor. Flocculating dark clouds in a murky sky, unsteadily sailing to the macabre, in the cemetery the hostile dead dancing, I shall join in, soon I don't have to die, for no life is precious that a heart crying. The undead walking as the sounds get louder, dancing with them is Satan and I.
Transfiguration. The darkness of the soul shortly coming. It would be ready for alteration. One truth I shall believe in its finding. Nothing scary about the decision. I hope the switch committed will atone. If it should tumble and I fall out of grace, the guileful devil shall rise from his throne. I will happily meet him face to face. I will not cry with this calamity. I shall never discard one single tear. Just as long I stay within my amity. I mean to stand tall and devoid of fear. If I befall into deep in trouble, Satan the devious will smooth my way. If not so, my problems will redouble. I'll hinder his retreat to turn away. I be glad when the conversion is done. I shall please destiny in its forecast. Be alone in darkness, exist in shun. Enjoying the escape of an outcast. Not to sip 1 fluid ounce of liquor. Hoping this transition will be fruitful. Should it happen, victory I will declare. And may the Almighty be merciful.
They're among us. Day by day they evolve and grow, each one like a parasite they take, the say good morning, also say hello. Day by day they evolve and grow, living in a flat or a bungalow, a new species from a planet called fake. Day by day they evolve and grow, each one like a parasite they take.
To or not to. To be or not to be, with a heart lacking love, I'll be and always be, a man pissed off. To have or not to have, a heart full of emotions, I'll have and always have, such romantic notions. To keep or not to keep, a half-broken heart, I'll keep and always keep, one half from the other apart. To see or not to see, a grieving heart in action, dejection shown on the face, eyes blink in desperation. To search or not to search, for a cure to save my heart, operation needed to restore, a surgeon gives it a new start. To love or not to love, love is the strongest emotion, once it taken slavery begins, I don't believe in magical potion. To fuck or not to fuck, the heart desires it and quickly, in the morning, afternoon or night, just as long it is done superbly. To die or not to die, pity to die in sadness, a shame to live in grief, to only exist in madness.
Who wants to be a pig? Why are we described as sloppy and dirty? The way we roll over the mud, does it make it so? The truth is that we are very clean animals. One thing about us one needs to know. 2 nice slices of back bacon for breakfast, with some sausages and plenty baked beans, to sustain the human body in the morning. Who wants to be a pig if one doesn't know what it means? We pigs get scared very quickly and we're not ashamed. Our fears make us scream, and be sure not to hear it. It is very loud and intimidating, so don't come close. Although we muck about in mud, we are very fit. Boiled gammon goes down well with pineapple slices, roasted potatoes, julienne carrots and green beans, a luncheon to satisfy the hard-working person. Who wants to be a pig if one doesn't know what it means? Can one imagine that we run a mile in 7 minutes, drink about 14 gallons of water every day, yet you humans love just for one indulging thing? We are deliciously eaten, without thinking our disarray. Dinner comes in the evening and everything in its place: roast pork with apple sauce, cauliflower and greens. Sometimes they serve it with our skin known as crackling. Who wants to be a pig if one doesn't know what it means? Who wants to be a pig when one is ready for the pot? As a fear conquers us, we stand quietly until the gunshot. Dichotomy Summit. A dramatic prose. A parody of what is good, a mockery of justice, the misrepresentation of righteousness, an insult to the human race. Yet the disciples join in. It seems evil is a better proposition. Some people simply enjoy seeing others in misery, suffering, inflicted with aches and pains. Underestimating the power of evil, wickedness caused by humans with a view of doing right, more evil has been effected by optimism, more than distrustful offenders. People who willingly put power into the hands of the oppressor, shouldn't be surprised if they turn against them. Power tends to corrupt, while absolute power corrupts absolutely. Laws are like cobwebs that entangle the weak, yet are broken by the strong. Coercing is not an antidote, it is merely a therapy for the feeble-minded. Death sentence by itself is evil. It is the law which represents an eye for an eye, yet it is considered good. Capital punishment is evil in itself. One must fight evil with evil. To overcome evil one must admit to persuasion. To triumph over evil is for good people to do nothing. To get smart thinkers on one side, you get away with murder. Good overwhelm a lot, yet evil overcomes it. The wicked person bears carefully the frailties of the good, while systematically overpower the weak. It is a way of modern living. The conquest of the world should become complete, only by polluting all the women. Evildoers use them as objects of exchange in their battles. They keep using them until their victory is achieved. This logic is also employed by soldiers. They rape their mothers, daughters, sisters and wives, in the name of victory. Female of evil disciples will further assist in undermining the civilization. The devotees shall transpose womanhood, turn their children for nourishment rather than fostering. Squandered future generations into soldiers of wickedness, rather than let them grow and propagate the values of their culture. Evil shall grow and become one. First came communism, and no one spoke. They were not communists. Then came the Jews. No one spoke. They were not Jews. Homosexuals and lesbians arrived. No one spoke. They were not like them. Catholics arose. No one spoke. They were atheists. They will come for us, but there will be no one to speak up for us. Everyone knows about evil, how it manipulates with fulfilled promises. To be frightened there should be fear first. Unreasoning terror paralyzes cultures. Evil must be destroyed. Evil is a form of incompetence. I won't be sorry for I have done good, but I will be sorry that others have done evil. The lust for evil is not rooted in strength, but in weakness, yet evil cannot be filled with happiness. If I look around me, what do I see? Who wants to be good and for what? I blame evil on boredom. Boredom is widely unrecognized as a source of evil. The absence of purpose is the lack of things to do. It is the basis of all monotony. We need meaning in our lives. Pursuing primitive pleasures will becoming the norm, seeking evil causes. Beware of being under the leader of wickedness, making one think if they fight they'll live forever. Don't be defeated. Victory has 1,000 fathers, defeat is an orphan. It is better to achieve for something wanted and not get it, much better to achieve for something not wanted and get it. The abuse of evil words are the foundation of a corrupt philosophy. I distrust evil, it produces a desert of consistency with a river of blood. The corruption of man is followed by the corruption of languages. To think that unawareness leaves one at the mercy of wickedness, a liberated man from humiliating fantasy known as integrity. The simplicity of people's minds, the education in dichotomy, reduces them to be an easy prey to a big capture. The victor will not be asked for the truth. The victor is blessed with evil. Humans don't think, they presume too much. Which is true, every country has the government it warrants. Most people think they are deliberating, when in truth are reshuffling their prejudices. If freedom means anything at all, it means the right to tell others what they do not to hear. If thoughts corrupt language, then language corrupts thoughts. Injustice lies everywhere, it is a threat to justice anywhere. To ignore this evil is to become a collaborator to it. Evil power that wicked people possess is their ultimate aphrodisiac. Then again I ask, what is wrong with sexual desires? Man is told was born to corrupt and seduces. In the eyes of evil people and their laws it is true, moral laws dictate differently. Good people have good laws. Morality is the separation of objectives, choices, and actions. It's between those that are good or right, and those that are bad and wrong. Yet who can say what is right and what is wrong? The good people say they bear right, that their moral conduct is good, that the evil ones are corrupt and the other way round. A person who is cruel to his animals, becomes hard also in dealings with his fellow human man. I cannot judge the heart of man by his treatment to animals. Yet the inequality of rights and power, progresses from every source of evil. Any man who is iniquitous has the power to encourage to abuse it. What the public needs is another redeemer, he'll give them a bath of blood to wash in it, they will become monstrous. Evil is here, so am I. Evil doesn't discuss matters with its disciples, it renders them without their consent. The protection of a man is more sacred than the protection of its possessions. One of the greatest delusions in the world is the hope that evil can be cured by legislation. When evil conquer on being is as though it conquered a population, while if I love one person it seems I loved a whole population. Am I deluding myself? No man is justified in doing good on the ground of convenience. Righteousness always brings with it irresponsibilities. There is no good or evil, unless there is power. We know that power corrupts. Am I deluding myself? Power takes insolence from the thrashing of its victims. The evil that is in the world almost comes of ignorance. Good intentions may do as much harm as malevolence, that is if they lack the understanding of evil. One death is a tragedy, million deaths is a statistic. The lust for power is most flagrant of all the passions, evil gives it graciously while most accept it gracefully too. Law. Morality. What do evil care about it? Haven't it got the power? For that moment I believe so, but a thing is not always true, because a man died for it. When truth is buried underground, it expands, it congests, it gathers such a dangerous might, that one day it will burst out, it shocks up everything with it. I hope that when that day comes, there'll be enough people to care. All that concerns with leaders it mainly goes wrong, they try to cure evil with evil, they don't enhance it, they subdue it. Once a soul has conceived wickedness, it can foster no good thereafter. Evil is so unpretentious that it shares its bed with us and eats on our tables. The whole range of good and evil is in every human being. Evil is a point of view, Evil is done without effort, naturally, it is the working of destiny. Good is always the creation of virtuosity. There is no reason why good cannot triumph over evil. The triumph of anything is a matter of configuration. Whoever fights evil should see to it carefully, it can, and that in the process he does not become evil himself. I know that when I look into the abyss also looks at me back. The belief of evil has been since the beginnings of man's creation. It is highly developed in culture. It's not only an ancestor of brutality, also is a mask of good. The substance of good was conveyed to evil, it drew itself all the hatred and resentment, it throbbed good into its devotees, so that it could become evil. I understand that no one who summons up the most evil, can expect to come through the struggle unharmed. I feel that evil is always easy and possible, yet good and goodness are eternally difficult. I can help feeling that the singular evil of our time is prejudice. It is from this evil that other evils grow and multiply. Apathy and evil that work hand in hand, they are the same. Evil desires it, apathy permits it. Evil hates the innocent and the defenseless most of all. Apathy doesn't give a fuck as long as it is not personally inconvenienced. Apathy is a glove in which evil slips its hand in. All evil things start from innocence. In every man's heart there is a devil, but we do not know the man is bad, until the devil inside him is provoked. The belief that there is only one truth, that oneself is in possession of it, seems to me the deepest root of all evil of this world I live in. Our resolution to avoid evil is seldom known, till evil is so far advanced as to make prevention impossible. I don't make imaginary evils. I know of so many real ones to encounter. I know enough the power of evil, yet it does not make ugliness seem beautiful, while goodness seem ugly and weak. The only thing for evil to jubilation is for good men to do nothing. The human thinks that small acts of goodness are of no benefit. They also presume that small deeds of evil do no harm, so they do nothing, they don't refrain from them. Their wickedness becomes so great that it cannot be concealed, the guilt becomes so immense that it cannot be forgiven. For some, if they're afraid of something good, they think of calling evil to come to their rescue. But suppose they struggle through to the good and find it is dreadful? What do they do if food itself turns out to be the very thing they cannot eat? If a home is not their place to live, while their very own character makes them unpleasant? Indeed, then, they have played their last card and lost. I must admit that I have got evil in me as much as anybody else, yet some desires it more, that scares me shit less. I am no saint, yet I always walk the right line. It's a mean line, I admit. It is also straight and narrow, sharp as a razor, cuts right into the heart. I find I'm always bleeding on that line. Sometimes I often wonder why don't I step off it. People aren't evil, people aren't good. They live how they want to day after day, they come out of the dust and go back to the dust. Whose fault is that? Evil lurks into the heart, with false pretenses. It has the ability to survive identification and go on forever. We try to raise and educate our children, so that they're protected against the world's evil, only to find we've raised a pack of innocents, who seems to be destined to blend with evil itself. We are all mingled with good and evil. Empathy alone stands apart from the continuous circulation that is between good and evil happening within us, for when it comes to good and evil, a person has free spirit. The fear of good and evil is merely a prognosis, I think. I also believe that the foundation of life is built upon this struggle, the battle between the two most powerful forces. If we were born free, we would stay free as long we form a conception of good and evil. If time is not real, then dividing a line between this world and eternity, between suffering and bliss, between good and evil, they become illusion. Religions don't teach us the difference between good and evil, they only surmise it. Religions are the worst of good and evil. It has been rightly said that nothing is insignificant, nothing is helpless, a single action can disperse everything. There lies the endless similarity between good and evil, We should not do an immoral thing for moral reasons. The wicked are wicked, no doubt about that, and they go astray and fall. They will come by their rewards, yet who can tell the damage which the very righteous do? From the beginning, we try to understand that good is incomplete, and that evil is often an instance more than a situation. We cannot change who we are, and that is a fact.
Cursed, powerless I am, surrounded by evil, amongst the good. In every sense of the word, I am cursed. Without cheer, imperfect, senseless, deceived by lust. I did not atone. Inevitable I shall ridicule my life. For time distort my mind. Disappointed, mocked, cursed. Yet humble I was. The resisting under the power influence of alcohol. I am weak. I shall be dead in a while. Hopefully soon.
Waves of fire. I'm alive, therefore I'm mortal. My life shall fade into dust, where I will be rested at a portal. I'm alive, therefore I shall be perished, yet it won't be much of a difference, for on earth I was not cherished. I will receive my final reward, only that which I deserved. On hell's boat I will aboard. It shall sail on a river of blazing fire, where the waves of flame never cease, a reward for a life that was so dire.
What IT's all about. Searching for the aspect of life, yearning to know what is all about, to travel across smooth waters, to cross the power of a stormy sea, to find the meaning of my fascinated life, for my misfortunes were great, evidently and consequently, dire. I shall not despair, to dare, making it my deadly enemy. Before the blazing sun I go north, not to fail in finding my dream, to whom I am wedded, to whom I shall be widowed. I dread what I shall find, a twisted phantom, all awry, waiting for me, a ghost who is death, angry, crumpled, in pitiful petulance.
You were listening to Dichotomy, collected poems by Alfred Vassallo.